Good morning. Welcome back to the farm here. We're I don't know what we're doing today exactly. Well, we're working on a planter. I know that. I know Brock's coming, so he's going to help work on a planter. And my agronomist was supposed to come up. He texted me yesterday, said he was not feeling very good and was kind of sick, so he's not coming. So that's okay. We got plenty of other stuff to do. We may go down and work in the seed treater a little bit today. I got new hoses for it and stuff that I want to try and get it ready to go for when we're ready to treat beans here in a day or two. Our heat's been running. It's maintaining 50 degrees, 50 to 60 degrees in there, so that is good. Everything is warming up slowly, but it's getting there. So yesterday my Sound Ag rep, Niles, came up. We went out and saw a few customers about Source, product that I've talked about a little bit, and had a pretty good day. So I'm excited for this one. I think that's going to be a good product. But anyway, let's get to work, which means go get my breakfast and sit on the computer for half an hour. Okay, we've had our Pop-Tart and Dr. Pepper, and we're good to go. So I'm going to start putting some openers and stuff back on the far side of that planter. That whole wing, the openers and gauge wheels can go back on, get adjusted correctly, and then we'll just got to keep washing meters as we go here. I got 2 more done yesterday that just need put back together. We've got 6 to go yet, something. So we're getting there. Okay, we got one back together. I got a text from my dear salesman or people. When he was here the other day, I was asking him about this implement receiver mast that we're putting up here and how exactly that's supposed to mount and where it's supposed to go. I think I showed you guys this last week, but we've got this implement receiver mast that we're going to use for auto passive implement guidance, right? This is where it mounted on the old one. I've just got it kind of loose in there. The problem on this planter is there's a door here, and that door does not open with that there, and there are batteries under there that we may need to get to. Now, we probably don't need to get to them often, so maybe I could just take that off and get in there when we need to, and then put it back. However, as he said to me today, he said, well, here's the thing. If you have to get into this cover, you're already having a bad day and you're not happy about it, so having to move that is not going to be fun or make you happy. And the other thing is, using that for AutoPath, if that moves at all, is in you take it off and then you put it back and you don't get it in exactly the right spot, it screws all your AutoPath lines up for the rest of the year. Maybe just by slightly, but it screws them up. So that's not ideal. The better place for it would be down here through those where those black plugs are, kind of like how this one is. But I don't think this style of bracket will work over there. So I'm gonna send them some pictures they wanted to see, and I'm like, well, yeah. So we'll send them some pictures and see what they come up with. Look who's here. It's Brock. Good morning, Brock. Good morning. So last night about 9 o'clock, I'm sitting on my couch, and my 6-year-old, Rylan, looks out the window. He says, I see a car accident. It wasn't a car accident, but there was lots of flashing lights out my back window. Did you have fun? He didn't. You were, yeah.
I didn't get to play on the fire side.
It was a fire, shed fire, something, but he was not there as a fire department. He was there as the ambulance driver for a barn with nobody in it or animals.
Yep.
It's boring.
Yep.
Anyway, we got a planter to clean up, Brock. I've done most of it for you.
Yeah.
You should say thank you. Anyway, so I did get that 1 row unit put back together. We're going to keep working on some more here. I'm going to put openers and stuff back on, and we've only got 6 more meters to go through and wash, so that won't take too terribly long. We should get 4 of them done today easily, and it's just you gotta wait for them to dry out. So other than that, it's going to be putting all these disc blades back on, all the disc openers, all the gauge wheels, doing that stuff. We're going to get the clover seeder put in the Gator today, and we might even go spread some clover seed this afternoon. So we'll see how that goes. Progress is being made. All right, so we got Brock putting stuff back together, getting them adjusted right and everything. We've got the clean meters put back on. I'm gonna go start washing up the next couple, get them drying, and then I think we're gonna start digging into our closing wheels, start putting those on here in a little bit. We got a delivery, and it's not seed today. I'll show you in a second. Yeah, this is all the Ag Explorer stuff that I have decided we're going to try for the year. So we've got a lot of different stuff on here, and it's all designed for some total program trials where we're going to try the entire program start to finish with their products and see what kind of a return we can get from it. So we've got some planter talc replacement stuff here. This grow pack, it's kind of a micronutrient package that replaces the talc on the planter. We've got a soybean version somewhere that's got some inoculant in it and stuff to help with that, and some other beneficial stuff. No, that's not it. They must be on the bottom. But anyway, we've got some water conditioning agent spray stuff for what we're spraying. Architect is a foliar feed product. XR5 KSB, potassium sulfur boron. We're going to use a bunch of that. Octane, that's a sugar product. Onward Max is a PGR, plant growth regulator. Upward is a humic acid product we're going to use in our starter on a couple of fields. This Fuse is a surfactant for spraying. XR5 boron for additional boron. We got a lot of stuff. There's at least 10 different products on there, probably closer to 12. So yeah, we're gonna see. Well, but I think there's some promise there, and I think this is the kind of stuff that's gonna push us to 300. I did also get some more seed boxes in this morning. I had a truck come well before I even went to the farm, so we got another 8 boxes and a pallet of beans, and I got a pallet of corn. Is that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. So the last of the seed is trickling in. We're making progress. So it's lunchtime. I'm gonna go home and eat lunch, and yeah. It is not a nice day today. The last 2 days have been pretty darn nice, and today it's not. It's just a little misty, rainy, cooler. It's not cold, but it's cooler, and yeah, so I doubt the clover seeding is going to happen today, is what I'm trying to tell you. Back from lunch, we're down to this. We're down to 4. We got all these back together. Everything's good, Brock? Got them all adjusted the way they're supposed to be?
I believe so.
Okay, good deal. So we're getting closer here. We're getting closer. I do have a tank kind of sort of ordered coming. I've got a person that I'm talking to that they told me it'd be a week and a half. So I think we've got that figured out. Implement receiver mast up there that's kind of in the way. I'm working on that. So let me walk over there and we'll talk about it. So I showed you that up there that's kind of in the way of opening that battery lid, right? But we've got this other mast right here that's got the MGT, Machine Modular Telematics Gateway. So I don't know, it's the modem that communicates with the satellites to transmit data. I don't know why it needs one on the planter and not just using the one on the tractor, but they assure me it does, so whatever. But it's got a nice bracket that bolts onto this frame, and this bar is on an angle, so you can't just mount the other one. Well, I think we could get one of those and put it on the other side, and so they're looking into that for me. Now, I am not paying for another implement receiver mast because I paid for that one last year that I never got to use. But if they would like to trade me, I will gladly give them that one back and take a new one that actually fits on this planter the way that it's supposed to. So we will see what they come up with on that. So we do need to go through and grease this planter. I don't know that I'm quite ready to do that yet because once you grease it, you get grease all over everything. And I don't want to do that. We could check tires. We'll have to check the book to see how much air pressure we need to have in all the tires. And let's see, what else do we need to do? We got to get my hitch put on so we can do that. We've got some plumbing to do, but I need to get the tank first before we can really work on the plumbing aspect of it. We are going to have to take this out, do some pressure tests with run fertilizer, water through the fertilizer systems and testing all of that kind of stuff. We're going to run seed through. This has got a really cool feature with mobile row unit runoff where you can put seed in and it'll run so many seeds through and it'll do tell you how accurate it is and stuff and any adjustments that need to be made. So we'll do all of that stuff. We're not going to do it inside. We're not going to do it now. We're going to wait till it warms up and we're closer to going to the field before we do any of that stuff. So we need to go through our plates, the bowls, and we need to graphite spray the backs of them. So I don't know if I have any graphite spray, but we need to do that. We need to do the bean plates for the bean planter too. and yeah, that kind of stuff. So not a ton more to do here. We're getting close. Why don't you bring the Gator up and let's get that cedar mounted. You can work on it back there if you want, or we can pull it in the back up by the door. Okay, we'll work on that. Oh yeah, closing wheels. We should probably put closing wheels back on here. Well, let's work on that. All right, new closing wheels. So this planter came with the standard John Deere rubber tire closing wheels. They were fine for about 60 years. I think John Deere used them, and they work fine. However, there's been numerous studies done over the last decade that show we can do better, and so we're going to do better. I, on our old planter, had put on some Copperhead furrow cruisers, and I used the plastic ones there, and liked them, thought they did a really good job. Started to notice a lot of wear on these corners. So on this planter, I have decided to put on the cast version of the Copperhead furrow cruisers. So they're basically the same design. These have 2 less teeth than the plastic ones, just for spacing and stuff. They're much heavier than the plastic ones. So there is that. But what my theory was here is, one, they're cast iron instead of plastic. They're going to wear better. They're going to last longer. And we're going to be planting at higher speeds than we have in the past. I'm not saying we're going to go 10 miles an hour, but we're going to be going more than 5 miles an hour. And so these the closing wheels mount to, they have downforce. You can put downforce on them, but they can get a little bouncy. And so my theory was the extra weight from these will help keep them on the ground without me having to really crank the down pressure on them. And so I always ran my rubber tires mostly in notch 1, which is really very little downforce or pressure on it here. I mean, it's not really much different. The difference is with it no pressure in the off slot, it's free to move up. At least here it holds it down some. But until you get to this one, now it actually takes a little effort to lift it up. So that's what we're going to do. As far as mounting these up goes, we have to space them out. So those tires that we took off are 12-inch diameter. These are 14, and so they're a little bit wider. We want them spread apart a little bit, so they send you this bag of shims, washers. We're going to add a couple of those. So bolt goes through. If I can do this one-handed. We put the thick spacer on. We put the original washer that came with it on, and then I am adding 2 more. We'll try that on both sides. We'll measure, and we'll see how close that gets us. Okay, so that's what they look like on there. Now, the idea here is that we want 1.25 inch gap between these teeth at the bottom closest point. So we're there. We'll get my tape measure out here. And we're just under 1.25 inches, like 1 1/8. I think that's okay. I'm going to call that okay. We could put a couple more in. So you're going to spread them out a little bit more. Maybe it would be a little too wide. I could get some thinner ones. Is it better to be too wide or too narrow? I don't know. Another change that we made, it's sort of hard to tell. Oh, here. There are 2 holes. Here, the original closing wheels were on the front hole. We were mounting them in the back hole. Gives us a little bit more clearance here between our gauge wheels. But that's just what the recommendation was from them, is to mount them in the back holes. So some people will stagger them, one in the front, one in the back. That can help if you have a lot of rocks or root ball issues where they get plugged up, to keep the stuff moving through them so they don't get bound up. I very, very rarely had that issue with the old planter, like maybe twice in 2 years that I had a root ball or something get stuck and it started dragging up. So not something I'm real concerned about. I decided to put another washer in, so we got 3 on each side now. I like it better. A little bit wide. We're just over 1.25 inches. It got a little narrow before I thought, so I'm going to go back to this one and put another one in. They should all be the same. I hope. We'll measure most of them, but yeah, I was debating it on this one too, and I thought I'll do another one and see, and then I decided to put another one in. So yeah, 2 down, 22 to go. Yep, I think that looks good. We're 4 rows in. Okay, let's check on Brock. So Brock's getting our Gator ready for clover seeder. So first thing you gotta do is take the tailgate off. So he has figured that out. We gotta get our seeder up here yet. You gotta loosen the whole side thing to get the tailgate out. But he's mounting GPS. So we use our Gen 4 display to run guidance lines and mapping for putting the clover seed on. We've got our RTK GPS receiver on top there. I also use this for making boundaries, going around fields and making all my boundary maps and stuff. So there's that. You need seeder. I've put Brock in charge of installing closing wheels. I'm gonna get this drawbar installed over here. It's a pretty simple procedure. No. Pin goes in there, drawbar goes in there, slide it together. You guys didn't see any of that because I can't hold the camera while I'm working. It goes like that, and then we put this washer and a snap ring on. I had thought that the wire harness for lights that goes right there would come with the kit. It does not, so we're trying to figure out that part number, and I think I found it. Like I said, bolts right here. I'll go up, and then there's a plug up under there that says hitch. I'm assuming that's where it would bolt into. I was doing some more reading in our book, and it was talking about these batteries here a little bit. And one of the things that it says to do is to take them apart, disconnect them, and to check the voltage on each one, just kind of general service, and make sure that they each have 12 volts by themselves. So Brock's doing that right now and trying not to shock himself because these are in series, so it's actually a 48 volt system. But yeah, he's trying not to shock himself is what he's trying to do. Check out how good those new closing wheels look on this planter. Very nice. Very, very nice. Anyway, so Brock's finishing up the battery stuff up there. I told him to rinse that out, put the cover back on, close it all up when he's done. Also put these couple of meters back together. They can go back on the planter, and we can get 2 more over here and wash them before we're done for the night. I have to go help my wife with some computer problem that I am not qualified to help her with. So I'm going to go do that, or attempt to do that, and then I don't know. I might be back, I might not. But Brock's going to wash a couple more meters, and then he's going to take off. It's after 4 anyway, so we'll see here. I tell you what, I used to be good at technology stuff. Somewhere in the last 20 years, it has passed me up. Probably closer to 20 years ago than today. But my wife's trying to connect to her work computer remotely from home, and something about IP addresses being too similar, it wouldn't work. I don't know. But they wanted me to change the IP address for my Starlink, and I don't know how to do that, and apparently it can't be done. I had to use a hotspot on a phone, which I couldn't get her phone to connect, so she had to use mine, and it's just a giant pain. Anyway, I'm back at the farm now that it's 5 o'clock. Brock is still here. We'll see how he's doing, but yeah. I made it home, and I forgot to wrap up the video. And we've got Morelli and Brayson. Brayson, what do you have to tell people? Check out your what?
Buy Borderview Farm sweatshirt
On farmfocus.com. Go buy yourself a Borderview Farm sweatshirt for you and your children. They're there. They're available. We don't have anything for babies, but we do have kids stuff, so go check them out. But thanks for watching today. Have a great rest of your night. No video tomorrow because I have a meeting. I have a meeting with Mr. Weaver. He's putting on a high-yield soybean clinic again. So I'm going to that tomorrow. We'll be back in the shop on Friday. What are we doing on Friday, Brayson?
We're watching football.
Basketball.
Go to Aunt Mal's.
Going to Aunt Mal's. That's on Saturday. We're going to Aunt Mal's. Friday, we're going to be working on a planter. We might be spreading clover seed. Who knows? Well, treating beans. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on a seed treater. You guys can come out here. If it's nice out, maybe you can ride your go-kart. But it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow, so it'll probably be muddy. It's no good, is it?
You did? Huh?
Tell everybody good night.
Good night.
Good night. See you later.